Okay, so yeah, I'm going to look at this particular thing now. So this is what I mean. I did this before. I just destroyed a bit of it. So we've got that going in. So that's a 16. That is a 16. So there's a 16:1 gearbox in torque mode. So the torque is 16 times greater, and the speed is 16 times less. So the important thing to remember, of course, is the power is always going to be constant. You recall I did do some stuff with the shaft junction which did seem to have some kind of loss, but the torque was still the same. It's just the amount of power generated was less, and the speed seemed to follow along. Yeah, it basically just seemed to be dropping when I did the shaft junction thing. I think there is something to do. There is something a little bit extra with the shaft junction. So even though I did manage to solve the problem of actually getting two inputs and one output, one input and two outputs, I still want to look at that more. But I want to look more at the gears themselves now. So there's a 16. So let's just do this then. Let's try to get more. So there was the 16 one, and then there's 8 one here. So I'm going to just grab myself some fuel, and we're going to see how we. Yeah, I'm not going to worry about turning corners at the moment. I don't think. I think that's the least of my least of the problems to go for. Now let's compare. Let's compare these two. All right. Let's just not do it like that. All right. Let's make sure we've got it set up before we do anything with it. Okay. Let me just get rid of some of the stuff here. I've spawned in quite a lot of these things multiple times. Oh yeah, the I/O goggles as well, so you can see I/O the whole time. I didn't find that particularly useful though. It was kind of yeah, it wasn't very useful. Get a few more of these buckets. Okay. So we should be okay here. Alright, so we seem to have no loss here at all, and we've got it in torque mode, so the torque is going to be increasing by 8 times here and by 16 times here. Okay, now let's try the other mode. We'll see if we can start to sort of mesh together all the things that we've covered so far. That's the aim, really, to try and do something like that. So we're going to put the 8 here. Yeah, I'll do the 8 here and then the 16, and then we'll see how it goes. Yeah, okay. And alright. So now we're going to be in speed mode. There's a bucket. Why doesn't that not work? So it's going to decrease the torque and increase the speed. Alright, I think maybe I do need to. Let's just see what happens if we put something in here. Nope, nothing. It's because it's trying to increase. It's because, you know what it is? It's because it's trying to increase the speed and decrease the torque. But the torque at the beginning was only 4, wasn't it? And it's trying to decrease it by 8 times. So it's trying to decrease it to 0.5, and it can't display something lower than 1. So if I have a 4 here, it probably will work. I think that's what's going on here. So if we put in a 4 here, we don't need this. If we put in the 4, then what will happen is that it will go down by 4 times. So it should go down to, the torque should be 1, and then the speed should be 1024. Possibly, no. Yeah, that is what I would think it would be, but I'm not sure if that is actually the case. It might not be the case. We'll see. Alright, so we're going to try it now. No, it doesn't seem to work. Yeah, you see, I would have thought that here it would have worked there. Maybe I didn't set this up yet. Oh yeah, it did work. Okay, alright. So that's exactly what I thought was going to happen. So it is acting in a kind of quite a good way. Now one of the things we have to remember, of course, that we want to get these things to work together, we need to get the speed to be the same. Alright, let me just finish this off, and then I'm going to try and do something a little bit more complicated after this. So you see, so this 4:1 works because we can get the speed down to any kind of integer value will work, and whenever it goes onto another, it just displays as 0 when it's actually just a you know, like a fraction. So that's one way to get 1. Oh, wait a minute. Why has it got a K there? Oh, it's because it's 1000. Yeah, no, that is exactly what I said though, wasn't it? So the speed, we've got a 4:1 gearbox, so the speed has gone up from 256 to 1024 radians per second, and the torque has gone down by 4 times. Alright, so yeah. And similarly, if we look at yeah, so for instance, yeah, so the 4 is the only one that's going to work at this stage, basically. But with the torque ones, see, the lower torque ones are not going to work. but the higher speed ones are not going to work. So that's interesting. Alright, so let's use that information now and start thinking about how we can unify this into a shaft junction. And perhaps, yeah, I'm not going to think about this vertical thing at the moment. That is, I may think about that at some point soon. Let's just, I don't really need this here either at the moment. So let's think about that. We want to try and unify these things. So what are we going to do in order to unify them? Well, we need to get this. We need to get the speeds to be the same. That's what we're kind of thinking about. So perhaps we could go along this way and try and do that. So we're at 16. We want the speed basically to be. Yeah, let's make it 32. We could make it 16, but that would be probably a bit easy. We may as well try and make it all 32. Alright, so to increase the speed, we need to use a speed gearbox. And we're going to want to make that a 2 times speed gearbox. So we'll get our gearbox. So let's just turn everything off for now, actually. We're going to try and leave everything in the same position, and then we're going to try and get this to work. So we're going to want to get a 2 times... yeah, and I will have to test it each time, but it doesn't matter. So we're going to want to get a 2 times gearbox, and we want to make it speed, because if we make it speed, because recall this one is a torque one, which means that the speed is going to go down by 16 times. And basically, and so 1024 divided by 16 is 32. So no, 64 rather. Yeah, what was the output on this again? Let me just check very quickly. So this is why it's useful to remember the numbers. It's going at 16, but this is a torque one. Yeah, so basically I think it's like yeah, the speed goes down by 64 times. Because this is normally 4 and 256. Yeah. Sorry, so what you do is you exclude the output. You have to just take that as a given, the output from the motor being 4 and 256. 4 torque newton meters, 256 radians a second. Then you can just multiply the figures by 16. Alright, so if you look at that, what you need to do then is you need to have a speed which is 2 times, like I said, to get from this point. So the speed will go up to 32 radians per second, and the torque will go down to 32 radians per second. So let's do that. So we need to get this the 2 one. Did I get the 2 already? Here it is. So let's just wait for this completely to finish. There we go. And we're going to we'll keep on measuring it, because we may as well. I think obviously there's a point where you probably just, if you just know what it is, then you don't even need to bother measuring it. So we wanted this to be a speed one of 2 times. So let's grab another bucket. Yeah, we're not going to need the transducer for now. And we're going to want this to be a speed one of 2 times. So let's make it a speed one. And then we're going to want to get the so yeah, so now we're going to get 32 and 32 here, as you can see there. So when we looked at this one, so we want to try to combine it with this one, and that shouldn't be a problem because this has got the same. This is exactly the same now. So that's interesting, isn't it? So one torque 8 times gearbox is the same as a 16 torque gearbox, a 16 to 1 torque gearbox, and a 2 to 1 speed gearbox combined. So this can be is like an expression of these two combined. Okay, so we should just be a case of just putting a shaft junction in here now. Yeah, actually that's the problem, isn't it? The shaft junction does make things more complicated for some reason. Actually, no, it doesn't, does it? Because I can do it with the... No, I can do it like this, because I can do it with 2 inputs and 1 output. I just can't do it the other way around. And that is actually what we've got here, so that's fine, actually. Alright, so then we'll just put a bevel gears here. And I could do with the transducer here, actually. Let's just get rid of that lever there for a moment. So it's coming in from the... Yeah, you can't even see it. I think that's orange though. Coming in from orange, going out of black. So let's see if we can do that. Orange, black. There we go. And we'll just put a regular diamond thing here. There it is, and I guess we'll just replace that for now. So if we look now, the what? Is this, oh, this is a shaft junction though. That's what I wanted to put there. No, I wanted to put the yeah, there we go. Alright, so well, actually I did want to put a shaft junction there. If I put a shaft junction down, that's not good. Yeah, that's what I was expecting. Why don't we just put some of these in here? There we go. So that's now been added up like so. Now, okay, so now, right. Okay, so that's actually gone quite well there. Okay, so now we want to make this even more now. We want to add this power to it as well, but here, well, but here it's not looking good. In fact, it couldn't look much worse. Here we've got a speed mode, which is making this. So what do we need to do? We need to get. It's going to take a while to get up there, isn't it? Because think about this. This is a 4-to-1 speed gearbox. And what that has done is it's increased the speed to 1024 and it's reduced the torque to 1. But what we want to do now is we want to reduce the speed, so that means we're going to need a torque gearbox to reduce the speed. And could we do this in one sitting? Maybe we could. We want to reduce it to 32. So what is actually 32 times 32 is 1024. Yeah, 2 times 5 times 2 times 2 to the 5 times 2 to the 5 is times 2 to the 5 plus 5, 2 to the 10. Yeah. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to reduce it by 2 to the 5. So that is still 32 though, isn't it? Yeah, there's no way we're going to get it. There's no way we're going to be able to get it. Well, let's have a look. Let's just try something, I guess, because that's all you can, in a sense, that's all you can really do, because it seems like a long way off to get this. All right, so we'll just try a 16 and we'll put it in torque mode. What else can we really do at this point? Not much. Yeah, let me just turn the graphics down, because yeah, I did try turning them back up, but I mean, you know, realistically, you know, it's never really that useful. Alright, so we've got a 16 and we want to have this in torque mode. So yeah. So we're going to grab. So it's already in torque mode and I've already let it have damage, unfortunately. Which is unfortunate. Damn it. Alright, so let me get the 16. Just going to turn this off. Look, we know what we need to get to. We want to get to 64 torque. We want to get to basically 30. It doesn't matter what the torque is. We want to just make sure we get to 32 radians per second in terms of speed. Let's turn this off, try to reduce the lag a bit here. Uh-oh, I didn't put lubricant on this one. You can't, that's a... I don't know why it's doing that, but anyway. This is still on though. Alright, everything is now off. Right. So we know what we're going for, so we don't even need to actually look at the numbers at the actual point we're doing it. Where is that fucking noise coming from? Okay. Oh, right. So we want to get this, yeah, we want to put the 16 on. Alright, so by putting the 16 on, what we can say is we want to make sure that it's torque, because that way it's going to go up to 16 it's going to go to 16 newton meters in torque from 1, and it's going to go down to 64 in speed. Yeah. All right, so it's going to go down. So it's going to go. So the speed is now going to be 60. It's going to be speed is now going to be 64. And the torque will be 16. Speed is 64 and the torque is 16. But we want to make sure the speed is going to be the right. So we're going to need to get that speed down one more time. So we're going to need a 2 times torque gearbox. And once we've got that 2 times gearbox, we can then plug it in. So let's just try the 2 times. We're going to just check that we're at the right level. Well, actually, I probably don't even need to check. I'm pretty sure of it at this point. So we've got the 2 times gearbox. So that's going to help us to, and that's going to be a torque gearbox, and that's going to have another bucket there. All right. Okay, and then, so yeah, so in the 16 one, it's going to go from 1 torque to 16 torque, and then from 1024 radians per second to 32. So we're going to have 16 and 32, 16 and 60, 16 and 64 rather. Yeah, we have 16 and 64. Then we're going to have, with the 2 times 1, we're going to have 32 and 32, which is the same as this. So then potentially we could put, if we can fit a shaft junction in here somehow, because I can't always remember exactly the. Are we going to be able to get from both these corners? Be nice if we could. We can. So then this is going to be the final output here. Well, all right. Let me just so that. I'm not even. What the fuck? Really? Let's get a fucking aerial view of this. Let me just go around here then. Well, fuck it. Alright, so now we should... damn, fucking hell. Alright, tiny render distance. Now let's just get everything working. Uh-oh. It's because this fucking thing is breaking. But it is more or less going through though. Where is it losing the power? Seems to be alright here. Yeah, it's on the shaft junctions. So there's not much you can do about that though. It's just one of those things, I guess. Anyway, I think that's probably enough to do with all these fucking glitches. Damn. But yeah, but that's basically, you know, it sort of shows how this stuff works, I guess.